What is up, everyone, and welcome to the halfway point of this latest season in my Redemption Time series with Darby County here. As you recall in the last episode, we were sadly relegated. I was really worried I wouldn't keep my job, but I did keep my job, and now I really got to redeem myself because I finished somehow even worse than they did years and years ago when they were last in the Premier League. But here we are halfway through the season, so it's now December 31st, 2026. Looking around here at the menu, you'll see we're currently sitting in 7th, but it's really tight here. 2 points separates us from 4th, and on the back end, 4 points separates us from 12th. So it's really still up in the air. But most importantly, I figure I'll show you guys what I'm thinking about it off the top of my head. As far as club vision goes, I'm doing very good because they wanted mid-table finish in the championship. Specifically, actually, the first thing they wanted was to avoid relegation, back-to-back relegations, because as one would assume, being promoted back to back is great and all, but then once the wheels come off, you risk losing everything all at once, which fortunately didn't quite happen to that extent. Supporters are A plus. Only thing disappointed with high tempo pressing. That's not happening, which I guess something I could work on, but that's not obviously make or break. But to elaborate on what I was saying with fortunately didn't happen. Obviously being relegated, some players want to leave, so I have to abide by those wishes. So I'll show you the transfers and what we've done, all of them starting the season. So starting with transfers out, the first couple were loans. So obviously these couple loans, no big deal. Tony Weston, he went on loan, and now he's currently recalled his loan because he's turned to be pretty good and could use him as a substitute squad player type role. So kind of keeping him around in case I need him. So his loan ended. Dejon Brown still on loan. All these, like I said, loan. A lot of these. Okay, so the first big one was Bergstrom. I mentioned in the last video I wanted him to be my number one going forward, and so that was my intentions. And then preseason comes around, and Bayer 04, Bayer Leverkusen, they wanted to, they sent in a transfer offer, right? And I rejected it because I was like, he's going to be my number one going forward, young. But then that made him upset that I rejected it and insisted that he wanted to leave. So I made a deal that if they paid his release clause, he could leave. And at that point, he did leave. So kind of stepping back to where I was with Wildsmith and Vickers. Because as you recall, I was planning to sell Vickers, keep Wildsmith. Because they're both about meh. They're about even skill-wise, But I didn't need three of them. Or two backups of the same skill, so I wanted to cash in on one of them. Turns out Bergstrom was actually the one I cashed in on. As you can tell here, 6.5 million, so not a lot, but still there's something. Burgess, then he wanted a loan as well. He did come to me several times saying he wanted a loan, so loaned him out. Sibley was one, surplus to requirements. I no longer needed him, so I just was going to sell him, but nobody wanted him, so I asked him to, drum up interest of himself, and he couldn't do that, so he's currently just on loan, which I'm okay with because they're paying for it, and I'm getting money from it. But we'll come back to this because I'm not done with the transfers out. As far as transfers in, my first couple I needed were defenders. I did buy a couple defenders going into the Premier League season, but I needed, more that I could rely on. So I splashed out on Andy Lyons here. Right back, a really good wing back. Huge, pretty great deal if you ask me. 60 million, but now his price has gone up, and he's done really great for me. So that was important to get. Stanley Sini was another one. One for the future, really. Bought him for 19 mil from Coventry, and he was one of those I didn't really expect to use. I just wanted to have going into the future, but it's actually good. I got him, and that's one of those I'll explain on, elaborate on in a little bit. Then in this last window, right towards the end, on deadline day, I bought Ndiaye as a backup, central defender. Unfortunately, he's already wanting to leave because he doesn't like the way that he's not been promised the time, which I disagree. I don't remember promising him a starter, but anyways, that's that. Mohamed Osar was the goalkeeper I got, 400k. Meh. He's about as good as the others, but I needed a backup because my plan was to not register Vickers and have space elsewhere. but I ended up registering Vickers as well because I had space freed up. Now, if we go and look at my squad, so this is how it's going. So Wildsmith is obviously the starting keeper. I'll start with these. So Weston down here, Sibley on loan. Fosu's been all right. I'll probably sell him sometime soon. Same with Edeniran. I'll sell him sometime soon because he's upset and wants to leave. But similar issue, couldn't find anyone to sell him to. Jake Rooney was one that kind of seemed like he began thinking he was bigger than the club. And it kind of sucks because I was going to keep him, but then he insisted on leaving, so I put him up, but same thing, nobody wants him. I'm noticing a trend here. These players that won out, nobody else wants. So, he's got all his tags. Ferguson, he's waiting on promise. I can't remember what a promise is, but he's a squad player. He was one I bought last season in the Premier League, and he's good. He's a good backup. So it's good to have those type of players that's not unhappy. And here's my goalkeepers, Josh Vickers and Sar. And then some youth right here, and then Sunny, NDA, who's asking to leave, but obviously I would like to keep him around. I'm going to see how that goes. If I have to sell him this window, I will. Then I've got Vale. Jonathan Gomez was one I bought at left back. I can't remember. I don't think it showed up, but yeah, I bought him. Yeah. So I got him. Either way, it doesn't matter if I bought him or free transfer. A good backup. Because this is another one of those it's full circle moments. So if you go up here to Langelo, he was wanting out and demanded out, thought he was bigger than the club. And so I was going to fulfill his wish, cash in a little bit on him. So I offered him up for transfer. So I was promising that, but nobody wanted him. So I lowered his asking price. Still nobody wants him. But he's been a good trooper about it. So I was expecting him to leave. But, yeah, his contract's probably going to go up first. But I've tried to ensure he's being sold. But in the meantime, he's, thugging it out, right? He's still there. As far as these, Yang right here is also wanting out because he does not feel, he came to me and said he didn't feel he was getting the first team soccer he wanted. So I promised him I would give him the cup games, and then he said he didn't trust my promises, so I'm just going to sell him. So, and that was actually 2 hours before deadline day ended. I kid you not. He decided he wanted out. So obviously he didn't get sold last window, but we'll try to sell him this window. As far as anyone else, let's see. Was there anyone else? SA is one I brought in. Attacking midfielder right, but he's doing good on the left. Really good pickup here, in my opinion, because he's young and still has room to improve, but he's really good. Key player already. Moreno started off the season below average. I really thought I was going to have to replace him because he wasn't doing anything, but as you saw in the main, he's top goal scorer and most assists so far. So that's always good. Koski is another one where he's weird because he's wanting to leave, but I'm giving him the playing time he wants, so I don't know what his deal is. But if he does leave, I'll probably cash in on him. Nelson and Kashin, I believe Kashin is wanted a lot, and so I keep getting offers for him. I'm not going to accept those, obviously, because I can't be losing all my center backs at once. Nelson, 33, so I'm kind of starting to look elsewhere with center backs. That's kind of really why I brought this guy in, but doesn't seem like he's happy. So, anyway, so we'll move on from there. Normal tactics. This is how the lineup is looking. SA suspended. John Jules injured, just recently injured. But other than that, this is how it's looking. Not really much. I don't think I changed anything from the relegation, and we're doing good. So we'll take it. Let's see. Then, so when we go home, these are the stats right here. Top goal scorer, Moreno. Highest average rating, Waldsmith. Assists, Moreno and Sunny. 5 assists both. Recognize the youngster there. Pass completion goes to Nelson. Waldsmith and SA have the most player of the match awards. Most yellow cards is Thompson, and then most red cards is Thompson and SA as well, combined with 1. As far as fixtures go, if we want to look, friendlies were all right. Kind of worried me here at the start. These couple games here, wasn't too sure, but then we got off to a strong start. Only first loss really came to Leeds and the Carabao Cup, and they're obviously Premier League. And we still continued on real strong. But then around October, November, and then most of December, it seemed like we were in quite the slump. Several drubbings here. 5-1 in Norwich. Not something you'd like to see. But we are still in 7th, right outside playoffs, and we just needed a mid-table finish because I'm kind of seeing this as a rebuild year and setting myself up for the future. As far as any key games, obviously lost the leads in the Carabao Cup second round, which if you remember Club Vision, I passed that by being competitive. So that's always good. But then, let's see. So is there any... I'm trying to think if there are other key moments off the top of my head that I need to show. Let's see, 5-1. What happened here? Robertson was the one scorer, and Fosu got injured. As far as the players played, interesting. So, anyways, our first game here will be FA Cup third round. Obviously, I'm not gonna. I've decided I don't think I'll play it. I think I'll just show you guys how stuff is going in the updates, and then I'll worry about the transfers, and then get an end of season review. So, but if we go to U21 matches, we can see how they're doing. Like I said, the past couple seasons really got a good youth group here, so that's always great. Great to see. U18s, meh, they're hit or miss, but that's to be expected. I mean, they're kids still. If we just go here to Development Center, here's who we're, what we've got. The best ones, first team candidates. Chad Bent is one I've tried to loan out, but just couldn't get it to work out. Jack Thompson, I think he got injured. Actually, let's see. Does not show right away, but anyways, I think he got injured for a while, and he's one that I'm kind of banking on reaching good potential and being good to come into the first team in the next couple seasons. But we'll have to wait and see on that. Evans is another one. Similar situation. Doesn't look like he'll be nearly as good, so I'll probably cash in on him. But it is what it is. Not all of them can be world beaters. And then you can just scroll here, pause if needed. Average squad U18, strong squad U21. An 11 out on loan. And they're all happy, so that's always good. Finances, here's how they're looking. Yeah, I'm not huge in this right now as long as we're on board with the FFP. So yeah, I mean, honestly, that's pretty much feel like very rushed, but this has been the mid-season update. The big one, league table right here, you can see everyone. Rotherham's bottom, only on 18 points, and then top is Coventry on 51, and we're here with 44, so not far off from anyone really. It's a very competitive season, but obviously that can all open up in the coming months. Yeah, defending champions Fulham went up, but obviously if you remember, it was us, Luton, and Sheffield, I believe, that went down. No, that doesn't sound right. Burnley, I think. No, I don't even remember. Either way, you guys probably know better than I do. I can't think off the top of my head. But as of right now, that will be it for the mid-season update. I'll pause and return at the end of it and let you know any transfers or anything that occur. But as of right now, that's it, and I will be back in a split second for you guys. All right, everyone, I am back. It is a lot later now. Got through the whole transfer window and then simulated the rest of the season. And as you can tell, it is very unfortunate. We finished 8th. We were in 6th just as recent as 2 games ago. And yeah, I mean, it was a rebuild season anyways, but it still sucks to see this because we were, 1 point difference and we could have been 5th or 8th, and we got the short end of the stick. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It was a rebuild season. Player stats, Moreno, top goal scorer, did great for us this season. SA with the highest average rating and also the most red cards, but also the most player of the match awards. So he's very, when he's on the pitch, he's good. NDA has the best pass completion, which is good. He's a center back, as you recall. Well, I shouldn't say as you recall because it was earlier this video. But yeah, we signed him. As far as that went, I think we might have that worked out. Because if we go to, where was I going? Squad. This is everyone that's in our squad. And if we look for his name somewhere down here, oh, he's still asking to leave, but oh well. I think he got more playing time. I don't know. We'll have to check in a second. But as far as club vision, A plus from the board and A plus from the supporters. Only thing disappointed is high tempo pressing soccer, but we were to finish mid-table this season, being rebuild obviously. We were able to do that. Still sucks we didn't get in the playoffs, but realistically probably would have lost them either way. Back to the tactics. As you'll see here, we did sign Hayden Roberts here, ball playing defender. Fits our playstyle very well. 24 years old, so we'll have him for a while to go with Nelson. And then Nelson will probably be aging out here shortly, and then that's when NDA will come back. Now, if you notice, Kashin is gone. He did want to leave to further his career in the Premier League, which I didn't want him being him to leave being the captain, and obviously, but had to respect his wishes, so had to let him go. Wildsmith signed 3 more years, so we'll have him starting for a couple years, and probably Sar in cup games. Vickers might move on here in the coming months. We'll see. Here's Weston. It did end up sending him back on loan to Aberdeen. Definitely seems like he improved quite a bit. More potential ability might be the same, but always good to have that third striker. If we need him for John Jules and Vale, because Vale can also play this attacking role. I know you guys can't see it, but I did go ahead and on paper instead of the squad planner, because I feel like handwriting it made more sense to me. I could visualize it better. Wrote down what I need, and it does look like I definitely need. Next will be inverted winger and a winger over here, because I realistically only have 2 of those, because Yang is still wanting to leave. Might already have, or I'm blanking on his name. He might have left, or no, maybe he did. Either way, let me check squad, because I'm curious, because I started simulating on the right before deadline day, so maybe he did leave. Let's just look at transfers. There we go. Transfer history out. Oh yes, he did for 2.1 million. 2.1 million, yeah. So that's good. And then more loans towards the end. There's Kashin for 14 mil, went to Leeds. So let's see. Did he get his promotion he wanted? Let's see. No. What? Oh no, they were still in. They're in Premier League. Brain fart. Sorry. Like I said, late. I'm tired. So Coventry and Burnley went up. One of these will go up. But I am curious. Let's type Premier. Man City will win, or will win. Leeds could get relegated actually, so he could be coming right back down. So we'll play him maybe next season. I'm trying to think of other things you guys would want to see to show. I mean, being a rebuild season, this episode is bound to be boring. But if we look at league positions, it's very sad. First for the longest time. Then we slumped, then we went up, and then it was kind of like mid-table out 6th a week ago, and now we're in 8th. Very unfortunate, but that's the name of the game. Back to transfer, I did forget to show off this. Hayden Roberts, we bought him, and then so 57 million spent coming in, 23 out. I'm trying to be more sensible with these transfers, setting myself up, obviously this season being the rebuild. I know I keep saying that, but I wanted to set up for the future, and will continue to do so this coming summer. And these are the tactics I'll be sticking with. As far as like Leon's Foster's wanting to leave, that's another one of the wingbacks I need to improve as well, again, because Gomez was wanting to leave, if you recall. And I did loan list him, but unfortunately, the second half of the season, no one wanted him. Didn't make sense, which fair enough. But then situation with Brooklyn Lyons Foster, I can't lose both of them, right? Because he can play, either side really, and he can play left mostly. And then I've also got Ferguson who can play right, but that'd be only one sub between the two, which wouldn't make sense, obviously, to lose both. So I'm trying to manage that. I did have that in mind. Like this next season, I'd be okay loaning Gomez out if it means keeping Leon's Foster, or vice versa, whichever, or letting one go but not the other. Ideally, if I had to, unfortunately, I would let Gomez go. I don't know. It really just would depend on the price I was getting. And then with the wings, I'll definitely need someone there. Sonny looks like he's stepping up very well. 3.5 star already, potential ability of 5 star. Um, very, very good group I've got here. Still looking to improve and gather um, more depth, I should say. Jake Rooney, still trying to sell him and move him on, but looks like he's no longer unhappy. So if we keep him, we keep him. If we don't, we don't. He can play center back or DM right here, which is always good. Edeniran, don't really know what's going on with him. I've tried to sell him, tried to loan him. Doesn't seem like he's going anywhere, but you know, it is what it is. Another one could use for depth. But yeah, so that's the end of that season. Oh yeah, if we look at development center, how's this going? Chad Bent uh, and Jack Thompson are the most promising in the U21 squad. Very, very good group. Still strong squad, and U18 is now a strong squad as well. So maybe next season I'll look to loan some of these guys out, get them the experience, slowly integrate them into the team as well. But the other thing with the competitions, we lost in the FA Cup to Manchester United, and then obviously knocked out in the second round by Leeds and Carabao Cup. Very unfortunate. If we look at schedule, there was, let's see if there was a period where I could see where we slumped. Just the same one through December. Mid-season slump really caught us here. Like lost games like Norwich, Coventry, I get. You know, they're both up there. A couple games like these I shouldn't be losing. This was a very unfortunate game. The 3-2 loss, I do recall that one. But then we got lucky a couple times. Yeah, and I mean the Man United one, it went to pins. Who scored? Let's see if it loads real quick. Where'd it go? Moreno scored, and Nketiah scored. So at least we took them to pins in the fifth round of the FA Cup. It was pretty good. But then there are other games like West Brom here, 3-3, shouldn't be drawn that. 3-2 losses to Luton, 1-1 draw to Norwich. Very, very sad. But I guess it was, was being a rebuild. It was to be expected we'd stick around, but just seeing the point total, very, very unfortunate. But we go again next season, and yeah, so I guess we'll be back. I don't know. Probably mid-season in 2027 again. So nearly 2028. I know the series has been going on for a hot minute now. I'm sure some people could do the same thing and do it way better, but I also kind of like the fun and keeping it realistic, and also kind of saying my thoughts along the way. But yeah, I guess I shouldn't say without further ado, but with that being said, I do believe that will be it for this video. Sorry we didn't get the promotion, but it was expected. Rebuild and all that. Hopefully we come back stronger next season, can improve where needed, and we truly begin the redeeming, so to say. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.